Hello and welcome to JAR Region Session 1, Be an Entrepreneur. For today's lesson, you're going to need your volunteer guidebook, the table tents, and your entrepreneurial traits worksheet. You will also need access to the on-screen presentation. You can work with your teacher to decide if they are going to have it pulled up before you get to class, or if you should come a few minutes early to pull up the presentation when you get to class. We do highly recommend that your teacher pulls up the lesson before you get into the classroom. The first thing you're going to do today is welcome the students to Junior Achievement and introduce yourself. Talk a little bit about your career and what a day-to-day looks like in your life. Then we're going to jump right into the presentation. You'll notice on the first slide, there are vocab cards. These are interactive, so you can click on them and ask the students what a specific definition is, click on it to reveal it. So for this example, I would ask one student, what do you think it means to have a business, or what does business mean? I would let them give their answer, then I would click on the vocab to reveal the answer. Then I would have a different student come up to the board and I would ask them, what do they think entrepreneur means? This can be a big word for students. So what do they think it means? I would have them answer, then I would click to reveal what it means. You will notice in your guidebook, there have been some updates this year. So there are blue text boxes at the beginning of every session for our session teaching tips. And the yellow boxes that are throughout the guidebook include vocab words and other technology in case you were to have technology go down. For the Take the Challenge activity, you can do this multiple ways. One way is if you just call on a student to come up to the board, say we start with Tony Hawk. They have to decide, is Tony Hawk an entertainment entrepreneur? Is he an entrepreneur of tech and manufacturing, food, or sports? They can let you know, and then you can click on it to say what the answer is. However, if you want this to be a little more interactive, what you can do is you can have them pick a corner. So you can label the corners as entertainment, tech and manufacturing, food and sports. So label the room, the corner of the rooms, and remind students a few times what each corner is, and then just start naming the entrepreneur. So when you say Tony Hawk, have the students move to the corner of the room they think he is. So they would hopefully move to sports or tech and manufacturing. Then you have everyone come back to the middle. Then we're going to do Walt Disney. What type of entrepreneur is Walt Disney? Have them move to the corner of the room that they think he is. Hopefully they move to entertainment or manufacturing. So this just makes it a little more interactive. It gets the students up and moving, but you can definitely do it either way. This lesson is all about traits of an entrepreneur and how entrepreneurs have some of the same traits that you, I, and even the students have. So again, we're going to go through that vocab. And on this next activity, we're going to have a few students come up and help us define some traits that we're looking for. So what I would do in this scenario is I would call a student to the board and have them pick a vocab word, maybe that they don't know what it means, or something they relate to, and we would just figure out the definition. Now, the definitions are on your entrepreneurial trait worksheet, so make sure you do not hand these out until after you've done this. You could also just call on students and say, okay, who thinks they know what it means to be bold? You could get the description and then click on it to reveal the actual definition. Once you've done this, you can pass out the entrepreneurial trait worksheets. And what they are going to do is they are going to look over those traits and they are going to circle the trait that they have, and they're going to underline traits that they think they would like to have a little bit more of. And then at the bottom, they are going to put their traits into a sentence. And I would highly recommend leaving time at the end to have the students go through and talk about what sentences they use to describe the traits that they have. For this activity, please note the eraselets are no longer provided. So although it is such a great example of how an entrepreneur can be anyone, it doesn't have to be someone with a business background or even an adult, right? This was a second grade student. They are not provided, so please make sure that your students know that. Then what you're going to do is you are just going to summarize the activity and what you learned. And then you'll see there are multiple extended learning opportunities at the end. If you have time, feel free to work on some of those and have the students kind of have a conversation about them. But if you don't have time, that is fine as well. And once you're done, just thank the students for participating. Make sure you collect those name tents because they will be needed in the next session. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy session 1 of JAR Region.